You're welcome to day 6 of 100 days of design. So the exercise for today is profile, design a profile. A profile is just a short description of a particular person. So it could be about their demographic information, their work, their experiences, and also their professions. So today we are designing a user profile, which is going to be on mobile screens. So to ease the process of our designing, I have created a layout of a wireframe. So this is showing how objects or things is going to be arranged on our main screen. So to start, I'm going to copy this aside and I'm going to rename this to profile. And again, I'll delete whatever we have inside. By selecting the frame, press enter on the keyboard, select the inner objects, then delete. So what I always like to do on my screen, whatever I'm designing, whether it's mobile or a desktop, so I always like to give it a layout grid. So which is going to be a column, and the count for mobile I'm going to make it 6. So this screen size is 428 by width. So this is a very wide screen. I'm going to give the margin 24 pixels. If it's something less than 400, I will have given it 16 pixels. But this is 24 pixels, which is okay. And the gutter, I'm going to make it 16 pixels. If you look at my something here, I always like to give my measurement, or let me say size of things in counts or in multiple of 4. So now, having done that, we can proceed with main design. So I will copy this from here, Ctrl C, and I'll paste it to this screen. This will be pasted to the same place where it was or where it is on the former screen. So if you look at it, our content of our screen should start where this column starts. So this is 16 pixel margin left. So I'm going to make it 24 pixels so that it starts from where our column starts. And the top, I'm going to make it 64 pixels. Now, that is that. What we have here next is a text. So whenever you see any rectangle, a rectangle represents text. And whenever you see something like this, it could be buttons. So normally, if you have button on a wireframe, you have to put text on it to show that it's a button. So it's because we are just doing normal day exercise. That's why I didn't include those things on this wireframe. Now, having done that, we're going to have a text here, which is going to be name of the user. So this, I'm going to make it 20 pixel, then type the name. Let's say Peterson Paul. So Peterson Paul is the name of the user. This 20 pixel, and I'm going to make it Lato, and again it's going to be medium. So the space between this is 19 pixel. I want to make it 8 pixels. Now, if you look at this back icon, it has enough space. Why we give it enough space is that it should have enough space where user can tap if at all we are going to design the interaction for it. So we can actually leave it like this. It's still visually is still representing our design. But whenever we get to prototyping, this will give us a lot of problem, because to tap on a small space, it should be very difficult. So that's why I give it enough space like this. So we have this name. So the next thing is the user's avatar, which is the picture of the users. So the picture of the user from top, I'm going to make it 160 pixels. And again, I have a plugin installed here. The plugin is called Content Tree. With Content Tree, you can get text, address, phone number that you can use in your design instead of leaving or start typing a huge number of text. So I will run the plugin now. This is Content Reel. I will search Content Reel, and I'm going to run it. So this is Content Reel. You can see we have text. Under the text, you have numbers, email, full name, use full address, okay, US full address, lorem ipsum, date, and so on and so on. So what I want to use is image. So I'll go to image. I need an avatar. male avatar, and I'm going to choose one of them. So it has pasted the avatar in the ellipse that we selected. Now, the next thing is the user's profession, which is this. Now I'm going to copy this down, centralize it, and make it 16 pixels away from this, like this. And again, I'm going to center the text align. So I'll give it the profession of the person. Let's say UX designer slash graphics graphic designer. So this is 20 pixel in size. I'm going to make it 16 pixels. So this is the profession of the user, and we have description here. So this description could be how many number of people follows this guy, how many number of people follow, let's say 300k followers, like that. And again, we have other information here. I'm going to put pipe, and let's say the location of the person, let me say Nigeria. I'm going to centralize this. So while this is 16 pixel, we can make this 14 pixel. And that's, we're going to still change the colors later on. This is 6 pixel. I'm going to make it 4 pixel between them. So that's that. Now, another thing we have here, we have buttons. So we're going to create buttons, but to create button here in the wireframe, we use rectangle for it. But this, I'm going to use a frame, and a frame which is going to be 40 pixels of height. Then with a round corner, let me just give it a color from here. So the width of this is going to be 140, for example. So we should have a text inside also. I'm going to copy a text inside. So I hold down my Alt from the keyboard and drag. And if you see, this thing is not entering this frame. This is because the width of the text is longer than the width of the frame. But to make it enter, I'll hold down Control from the keyboard, and instantly it will enter there. So I'm going to centralize this also and rename this to follow. So for user who want to follow this person, we tap on the follow button, and we can also have a button here that says hire me, for example. So if you are looking at the profile, maybe you're looking for a designer that you want to employ for your project, so you can go through their profile, then you can follow them if you are a learner to learn more from them, or you can also hire them if you have work for them. So we have these two buttons. I'm going to give them auto layout, selecting the two together and press Shift A from the keyboard, and the space between them shouldn't be more than 16 pixels and should be centralized to the screen. And also the space between them to this is going to be 40 pixels, and this is what we have. Now the next thing we have is the other information about the person. So to do this, I'm going to use frame also. This frame starts from the screens and ends the other side of the screen. So the height of it is going to be the size, the height of the button, which is 40 pixels, or instead of 40, let's make it 48 pixels of height, and also give it a color, or give it a fill color so that we can see it. So this is what we have. But here we are having three something. So the first thing is going to be the portfolio of the user, the resume, and the next thing is going to be frequently asked question will be here, so that you don't need to contact them before you know more about them. So what I'll do now is to divide this thing into three, because you're having three of it. So instead of dragging this, that is going to be a lot of problem for me. What I'll do is to go into the frame, the width of the object, and divide it by 3. This is division by 3. So dividing this by 3, I'm going to copy more of it out, and then Control D to have it. Now this, I'm going to give them auto layout, Shift A. so that they fit inside where we're supposed to have them. So we have them here. Now, the next do is to put the text inside them. So this is going to be portfolio, and this will be aligned to the center. And the size of this is not going to be 15 pixel, but 16 pixel, and it's going to be regular. So this is what we have. So the next thing we are having after the portfolio is the resume. Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Resume. And the next thing is the facts, which is frequently asked questions. So we have portfolio, resume, the frequently asked questions. Each of these is a tab from which when user tap on any of the tab, the information under them will be displayed under them. So taking this tab for the first tab, so I'm going to give it a stroke, and the stroke is not going to be something. So this is 2 pixels, and I don't want the stroke around the object. I want it under it, so I'll select this so that it stays on that. Now, having done that, the next thing we have this text, which is about the user. So I'm going to copy this also down, and it will be aligned to what we have here, to this place. I will say about me. About me. This text will be aligned to left, so that we don't need to be dragging always. So this also is going to be 16 pixels. About me. Then the about of the user will be something we're going to have like this. So we need a large number of text, and instead of me to start typing, I'll use the content reel plugin also to generate some text. So I have other plugin that I can use to generate text, but this also can generate some for me. So I'll just go to text and say lorem ipsum, and I'll say fill all. So this is the information about the person. This is about me of the person, and this is not going to be 16 pixels, it's going to be 14 pixels, and I'm going to make it auto height, just like this. So the space between this and this, between this and this, the space between them is 27. I'm going to make it 24 pixels. Then the space between this and this, I'm going to make it 8 pixels, so that it's the closer the text to the main something, so the more our sense will take it to be part of them. So the line height of this text is 17 pixels by auto. I'm going to make it 20 pixels so that the text have enough space to breathe. So that is that. So another thing that I have here is these things. So I have another heading here. So this heading is going to be skills. Let's say my skills. So we have my skills. And if you look at what we're having here, these are not buttons. They are like chip. So they are chips that represent the skills that the person has. So as a designer, we understand that as a designer should have some skills in some design tools. So I'm going to copy this text also and put it inside this. So I copy that by holding down Alt from my keyboard, and I drag it down here. So I'm going to centralize this. That is that. And again, this frame, let us fill it with a color so that we can see what we are doing very well. And let me hide the grid by pressing Shift G. Now, the size of this is going to be 12 pixels, and the size of this is 28 pixels. I mean the height is 28 pixels. And also I'm going to make the corner radius. So this is 28 pixel by height. Let me change it to 24 pixel instead of here. This is okay. And again, I'm going to do Shift A to give it auto layout. To give it auto layout, and again, the auto layout here, I will need to reduce the padding, the horizontal padding to 8 pixels. Even at okay, I will need to reduce the height of this thing so it sits. So this is going to be 12, the padding 12, 8 instead, and the padding top, vertical padding going to be 4 pixels. Now we have this. So as a graphic designer or UX designer, we would expect the user to have knowledge in Figma, again probably Photoshop, Adobe XD, also After Effects, let's say Sketch. So we can have other areas too, but before I do that, I would like to give this thing auto layout Shift A and give the space between them 8 pixels. And again, I'll copy one of them down and start renaming this. Now, person could have skills in wireframing, prototyping, motion design. So and so on and so forth like that. So we can have as many as possible skills the user might have. So the next thing that we can also have is the user experience. So what are the user experience? So I'm going to copy this down and call this my experience. My experience. So experience of the user is going to be where he has worked and how or what was the user's position when working there. So for example, I'm going to use BitSmart Technology. So this is the name of the company where user have worked. So this is going to be 14 pixels. So we have an information under it just like this. I will copy this down. This also is a 14 pixel text, but it's the color that will differentiate them from the heading, and also the weight of the font. This is going to be semi-bold. So, and this is going to be regular. By the time we change all these colors, things will be fine. But before we go into color things, what I would like to do here first is to uh, put this in an auto layout. So this is 13 pixel. I'm going to make it 16 pixel between them. And also I'm going to auto layout this together with this. And it should be 8 pixels. Or instead we have 12 pixels. And we call the entire frame of this. We'll rename it from the layers here. And we'll call it skills. Skills. Also, this about me, I'm going to auto layout it, and from here I'll rename it and say about. And also the experience, the headings, this is going to be 4 pixels. So, and I'm going to auto layout them Shift A and auto layout them together with this. Or the first I auto layout is the company. I will say company, which is a company where the person has worked. I'm going to select it together with this and do auto layout again. The space between them also should be 8 pixels, and I'll call the entire things experience. So that is that. And again, the spacing that remains is the spacing between all these things. So I'm going to auto layout them Shift A. Also, the space between them after I auto layout them is 51 pixels, which is vertical spacing. I'm going to reduce the vertical spacing to 24 pixels. So this is what we have. So that is that. So if user asks any other experience in any something, I can increase this and say Control D to duplicate, and it's going to duplicate inside the auto layout. So this is going to be the name of another company. I can say Code Village. So Code Village, and also have information about the experience in Code Village under it. So that is that. So let me hide the grid, Shift G. So what remains here now is the color we're going to give this. So we are going to use one of the colors we have here already. So if you follow my interaction design also, I use this color in a design. So now the next thing we're going to do is to give them color, or is to apply colors to this to make it more beautiful than what we are having now. Now, so this color is going to be, the first color here is going to be for our text color. The variance of it is going to also be for our text color, and white is going to be for our background, and this blue is going to be our primary color we're going to have on this. Now to go into this, I'm going to select this, everything that resembles black. From the color selection, I'm going to tap on this and click on the ink icon and select this black color. So every black color is being changed to what we have here. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to apply our primary color. So this here is the button, which is going to be our primary button. So I'm going to change the color of it to the blue. And the text we are having, the black text we're having on it, I'm going to change it to the white color, so which says hire me. And also at this part we have the color here. I'm going to change this to blue also, so this blue, and we have it. So whenever user is here, you know you are under one of these things. And again, the colors we are having here is going to be white, but it will be a variant of our white. So what I mean by the variance of our white is that it's going to be a kind of a gray white. I mean, let me say white gray. So if I select those things together, I have them. The color inside them is A3, so I can shift them to a kind of white like this, so that we have them here. But to be more specific, or to go with our color, so instead of going through white, I'll change my hue, the hue of my color, to blue, and I'll move my saturation. So I'm going to increase my saturation from 0 to let's say 98, for example. So 98 is moves here, so I'm going to increase it. Let's go to 99, and the lightness, I'm going to increase the lightness also. So I think what we have here is good. And again, this text here, the text of portfolio, the current tab where we are in, should also be blue color, to show that that is particular place we are. And again, this we're having here are going to be, the background of them are going to be black, which is our black, the background of what we're having here. Firstly, the text on, over it, I'm going to change it to white, and the background is C9. C9, I'm going to change it to a variant of our blue, which is this. So C9 is going to be variant of our blue, and the text you're having inside, is going to be our blue. So at this point, we need to adjust this to give us a perfect something. So we have this, and the text inside, make it like this. So this is okay. Sorry. So this is fine. And again, I think we need to increase the size of this thing. Let me say, okay, it's from this place. So this text, the heading text, are going to be semi-bold, semi-bold, and they still maintain our color, while the text under them is going to be a variant of our black color, and it's going to be, let's put it to 70 pixels. So this is what we have. So by this, we've represented our color in our design. And looking at this, this is very, very, very beautiful. This is beautiful. So this comes to the end of the design. But I will release a motion, or let me say interaction design over this. So how to implement this tab something. So when you have information under portfolio, you can tap on resume to view. You can also tap on frequently asked questions to view what you have inside them. But before we go, this the color for this text and the background will need to like change. So the background, we're going to make it a kind of this, and the color also should be a very cool color, just like this. So we have a primary button which is hire me, and we have secondary button where you can follow the user. So if you haven't followed me or you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do that, and also share my videos. And if you have any question regarding UI UX design or interaction design, please just comment on the on any of the video, and I will provide a video, or I will do a video to better explain the process which you can get your interaction done. Thanks for your time, and have a nice day.